Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, I want to talk about how to make your slurs even. No? How can we really make sure or play slurs without the discrepancy? Paano hindi magbabago yung tunog niya? No? Whether that's volume, whether that's articulation, no? We'll break down what constitutes a slur in order for us to better understand that. No? So first things first, how do we do slurs with the instrument, no? So sa bowed strings, it's mainly reliant on the bow, no? If we want to play slurred notes, no? Syempre, isang bow lang yung gagamitin natin, no? It's almost the same thing for other instruments, kuwari mga wind instruments. Now, they try to phrase and slur the notes with just one breath. So technically, this is our breath, no? Ito yung pag-control natin ng breathing, no? And how we can really come up with good, even sounding slurred notes is based on our bowing, no? So, when we do slurred notes, for example, if I'm gonna do 2-note slurs, we have to understand that we're trying to keep the bow length the same for the first note and the second note, no? Or kung gagawin natin siya 4, we have to keep the length of the bow or the speed of the bow at the same length or at the same speed dependent on how many notes we want to put inside that slur or group of slurs. Okay? So, it's mainly reliant on bow speed muna. Yun yung kailangan natin intindihin. So, what exercises you can do is actually napakasimple lang. Mag-open strings lang kayo of quarters, for example, quarters, but you have to think of that quarters subdivided siya. So, for example, magka-quarter tayo ng open A. 2. Now, pag na-establish na natin yung speed ng quarters natin, so, in your head, you have to subdivide it, no? So, if there are quarters at 1, 1, 1, 1, so you have to make it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 in your head, no? So, parang 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, what does this do? So, it evens out your bowing from the bottom to the top and vice versa, no? Nagiging even siya kasi you're counting the first note and then the second note where you will change. Diba? Which is dapat nasa midpoint or kalahati ng bow. Kasi mapapantay mo lang yung bow or your stroke if you really change on exactly where it is, no? Napaka-importante ng visual cue ng bow na to. And even yung feeling na nagko-cross tayo ng midpoint when we want to change, no? Even if we want to do fours, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, sa open string pa lang, may idea ka na on how you can really subdivide a single beat, no? For example, or a single bow stroke into different notes. And then, your left hand comes in, no? Paano ba natin gagamitin yung left hand? So, nasanay tayo kasi na the bow dictates rhythm, di ba? The bow dictates the sound. Pero sometimes, in these types of cases, your left hand will dictate your rhythm. Bakit? Kasi your bow will only move at a certain speed, di ba? Yun nga yung gusto natin. Yung gusto natin mangyari sa bow is to keep it constant, to keep it at a constant speed, no? Para pare-parehas yung length na ginagamit natin for each note, no? So, your fingers will now be reliant and will be used for your rhythm. So, if we try to make the 2-note slurs nga, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, lagi siya magpapantay if you think 1, 2, 1, 2 within that slur. Diba? Kasi, I always change exactly where I need to. No? So 1, 2, 1 change, 1 change, 1 change. Okay, even if we try it by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so napaka-reliant niya sa fingers. Now, if you don't train your left hand as much, no? Kasi mas madali talagang gawin versus kasi the challenge here is that ito kasi nagde-deviate with the rhythms, no? When it changes, you can use the time that it changes para mas mapadali mo to. So, hindi niya kailangan maging sobrang pantay. But without the help of the bow, kailangan mo na siyang pantayin, no? So, you have to think like this is very, very well coordinated. Not just with your bow, but with the beats that you are thinking about, no? So, importante talaga na masasabayan nyo yung change na yun in your head muna, no? Kaya, maganda yung mag-long strokes muna ng open strings and then subdivide that bowing and then try to use your fingers, no? So, just a quick disclaimer though na you don't really need your slurs to be always even, no? Pero, of course, you have to have this foundation of evenness before you can play an even slurred notes. Kasi, pag hindi mo alam kung ano yung pantay at hindi mo alam kung tama o mali ba yung ginagawa mo, di ba? Of course, there are pieces that you play that you don't really need that evenness, no? Especially, I think, for pag classical kasi, usually, the slurs are no? Mas mahina yung second note, no? So, it's like a general rule of thumb when you're playing other styles. Pero, kailangan ma-monitor mo muna kung how even you can really play it, no? Before you try to make it uneven. Para you can adjust exactly which part of the bow you change your notes, no? Kasi, ito nga yung nagiging rhythmic tool natin instead of using the bow. Kasi, versus so you cannot just do this on 2 notes, pwedeng 3, pwedeng 4, pero kailangan nga ma-maximize mo yung slurs mo. You have to understand your bow. So, you can even do a whole scale, di ba? So, dalawa na yun. So, pwede mo siya pagkasyahin. But, if you listen closely, the sound doesn't change much because I'm only using exactly what I need, no? So, yun, pabago-bago, kinapos pa, di ba? So, those things can happen if you use too much of your bow or too little of your bow, no? So, a great foundation of your open strings is required in order for you to really work on your slurred notes, no? Kasi for beginners, a lot of beginners, pag dumadating na sila na nakatie or nakaslur na yung mga notes, parang hindi na nila alam yung gagawin nila. The most common cases happen is biglang binibilisan yung first note and then yung second note nakakalimutan na. So parang or baliktad naman, no? Pwedeng pinapasok agad nila kasi they think na pwede pa rin yun. Kasi tingnan nyo, ha? Even if I'm doing it na hindi siya pantay, if I do it on a single stroke, hindi masyadong noticeable. But if I do it, maririnig mo na talaga siya. So you really need to work on your left hand. So you can practice that, no? I would suggest one note muna. So open, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then change. Okay, then when it comes to string crossing, syempre importante naman dito, not just your fingers, but your elbow naman. So if you're gonna string cross, you have to understand how your bow reacts with your strings, no? I can't really pinpoint na eksakto kung saan mo siya dapat papuntahin. Dapat ba mas malapit sa katawan mo? Dapat ba mas mataas? So it will depend on you and your instrument and in your body type as well. So you have to try to find the way kung saan ko-connect yung for example, your A string to your E string without having a cut, no? Hindi siya magka-cut. So you have to make this arc, no? Almost when you're trying to slur on string crosses, no? Even going down. Okay? So, you have to work naman with your elbows in rhythm, no? Kasi sabi nga natin, when we're string crossing on détaché strokes, kung saan tumitigil, kung kailan tumitigil yung bow, that's where you change strings. But when you're trying to slur on a string cross, you have to continually move, no? So, hindi na siya masyadong hiwa-hiwalay. So, it should also move in rhythm. So, dapat habang, for example, if you're going from G to D, habang tumutugtog ka dito, nire-ready mo na siya ibaba. Diba? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, that's how you can really make your slurs even, no? Whether you're using 2, 3-note slurs, 4-note slurs, kahit papito yan, kahit isang buong scale, no? You just have to understand that your bow will shift its role, no? Mag-change siya ng role to being your active player for rhythms to a more passive tool. And then malilipat nga siya either with your fingers and also with your elbow. So sana nakatulong tong video na to. If it did, drop a like, comment down below more content you want me to cover on this channel, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tutorials, music content, and everything under the sun. This has been Ryan Monakil for Violin Tips and Tricks, and I'll see you on the next video.